Good morning from Tuscany. I've been living here for over a week now, so it's about time for a new vlog about my journey as a software engineer working and living as a nomad all over Europe. The best thing about living in a new place every single month is that I get a fresh start for my routine, habits, nutrition, and exercise. Now, my coding project hasn't been progressing as much as I had hoped, so in this episode, I'll experiment with my daily routine to transform myself into a 10x engineer, or maybe 5x, or at the very least, a 1.5x engineer. And I'm sure that you can grab some tricks and tips from the things I've learned. Since I no longer have my morning roosters like I did in Lake Como, I actually sampled them and set them as my custom alarm. My first step is actually to get a head start by waking up at 5 a.m. It's definitely not comfortable. I've done periods of it before, and no matter how many times I do it, it never becomes easier to get out of bed. Still, why do I feel the need to do all of this? Why would anyone want to become a 10x engineer? Well, the moment I walked into this home, I realized I'm literally living inside of my 2020 vision board. Now, 2020 was like a super messed up year for me. Very big changes. I decided to quit my career as a filmmaker. My relationship ended. I moved into a new home, but I also started programming. I completed a 6-week bootcamp and I started working as a developer right away. Now, I guess I was pretty optimistic back then because for some reason I made a vision board, although I forgot about it pretty much instantly because what happened was years and years of pure grind, early mornings, late nights, weekends included. The moment I stepped into this room, I felt like, oh, this here has that vision board vibe. This is what I've been seeing in my dreams, but every time I wake up. Right now, I'm not waking up. I'm not even kidding. It really felt surreal. You see, as far back as I can remember, I have always wanted to be an inventor. I built my own house when I was 6, the Golden Gate Bridge when I was 7, skateboarding ramps when I was 8. So now here I am, in my early 30s, in this amazing studio-like space, in the middle of Tuscan fields with epic sunsets, epic sunrises, and I finally have the skill set to build whatever I want, whenever I want and wherever I want. I should never ever take this for granted. Instead, I must push forward. I feel like the journey is only halfway done because I'm on a mission here to have my own fully working app. Since 80% of you are new viewers, I'm basically trying to build a place on the internet that's free of algorithms, like a pure old school site, a new kind of microblog that brings the fun of the web back. And I really want to delete Instagram, but the only way I can sincerely do it is when there's something better. I need to invent it myself. And I know that with hard work, it's possible to get there because 2020 Tarvi believed in the same thing. After all, he created this vision board. If he did it, then I can do it too. And now, this Airbnb has given me yet another new start. So I might as well go all in. I really gotta do it. I gotta finish the mission, what I've started. Having a new home every month offers unique benefits. And here in Tuscany, I have so much space, including an outdoor exercising area and a pool. To be fair, I booked it when I saw the pool. But still, why wake up earlier? Well, no matter how much energy the Tuscan sun gives me, there are still only 24 hours in a day. I work full-time as a software developer, so every day I have to clock in 8 hours of work. And I truly have to be at the top of my game because that's literally the foundation of why I can even be here right now. There's another 8 hours, which I should be asleep, like fully knocked out, in another dimension, so another non-negotiable. And that leaves me with only 8 hours where I have to fit everything. Cooking, cleaning, exercising, washing dishes, getting groceries. I've always asked, like, how is this fair? Well, it kinda is, And it kinda isn't. It really depends. The point is that whether you have 10 hours, 2 hours, or 30 minutes, the perfect circumstances rarely exist. Look, in 2020, I had like no money, I had no job, I had pretty much nothing, like absolutely freaking nothing. I was living from the government support. All I had was hope and the vision board, pretty much. And when I now think about like, oh, I have 8 hours for everything else, then so be it, you know? Gotta say, it's actually pretty good. So I managed to get in 2.5 hours of coding on my own project before my workday even started. I'm thinking that instead of continuing with the UI prototype like I've done in the past videos, I've now decided to start implementing the real thing. And this means setting up the entire backend, the server, the database, pretty much everything. And since my app is heavily UI UX driven with different fun themes being crucial, I need to figure out the real implementation as soon as possible, otherwise I'm gonna shoot myself in the leg and just do empty work. But I think I got it. But the point is that I was able to do it with 2 hours every single morning. Anyway, it's now almost 8 a.m., which means in Estonia it's 9 a.m. and that's when my work starts. So I've got to change the laptops now, disconnect the Bluetooth accessories from my own device and reconnect them to the work device. And that Bluetooth switcheroo is probably the most annoying part of any day. Anyway, my theory is to split those 8 hours. Whether the ratio is 50-50 or 20-80 doesn't really matter. The point is that in the morning my brain is fresh. More brains, less vibes. In the evening I have less brains but more vibes. So when I wake up early I can code because I have my entire brain as a resource. And after work I'm honestly a bit of a vegetable, so that's when I do creative stuff like writing, editing or designing. So I figured I'm gonna start exercising like the first thing in the morning. But in reality, I only did it like twice. That's the thing. In real life, nothing ever goes to the plan. The absolute worst thing you can do is plan everything minute by minute. Unless you're a prime minister or something, which I bet you're not. Life is just way too chaotic for that. And you will burn yourself out. That's the thing. You gotta let life flow. I mean, the other day I started my workday by hitting my head against the lamp so hard that it fell down to pieces. It even cut my arm. The glass is everywhere now. Yeah. Stepped on it and there is blood everywhere right now. Now that's the chaos of life. That's how it flows. The same thing is for the workouts. I wanted to do it in the morning, but instead sometimes I did it after work, sometimes during lunch. Workout itself is like a refresh button on the brain, so I use it very wisely. It is 4 p.m, the workday is over, and most importantly, it's the weekend. And now it's time to clear our heads. And since it's 36 degrees outside, there isn't too much we can do. But my 4 p.m. here is 5 p.m. in Estonia. And that means it's time to switch from work stuff back to my own stuff. So I gotta reset my brain somehow. It's better to not plan anything at all. My strategy is time blocks. 2.5 hours every morning for my personal project. That's 17.5 hours per week. Now that's insane. That's 2 working days. It's 75 hours per month. It's 9 working days. It's nearly 2 work weeks. That's absolutely wild if you start thinking about it. I mean, even if you do less, is it really that bad? Because the key is the cumulative effect of it, how it all adds up. So even if you do nothing on one day, you still have done a lot on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And you might say like, oh, 2 hours is not enough, 1 hour is not enough, 30 minutes, who can do anything with 30 minutes? But I mean, really? Think about the upsides. Every time you start that session, even if it's for 15 or 30 minutes, you have a fresh set of eyes. That's a superpower, my friend, not a con. So I'm not actually planning anything anymore. I only have 4 blocks. I have my morning session, my work session, my evening session, and sleep. Everything else is buffer and the chaos of life. For example, this weekend I didn't dedicate an entire day to my project. I still completed my 2.5 hour block, but the rest of the day I spent in Florence. It was actually my second attempt at getting a new case for my AirPods Pro. Those of you who have watched my previous videos know that I tried first in Milan, but I didn't have the serial number of my old case. Well, luckily this week I found the number in my Bluetooth settings, so I headed to the nearest Apple store. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Florence, and we finally got the AirPods. Now that's done. Because I really needed those good noise cancelling headphones, because I'm sitting underneath an AC for 12 hours a day. Because right now it's 37 degrees outside. It feels nice to be under it. My bonus tip is time tracking, not for monitoring every second of your day, but just for focus. Trust me, the moment you put that timer on, your brain knows that it's not time to f around anymore. Now, that being said, I don't always do it, so I still have to figure a couple of things out, you know? I really love Tuscany. I feel so much better here than in Como area. And I think it's the space. Like you see, I have so much room here. Nobody parks me in. I don't get a heart attack every time I drive around. People are calmer. Things are moving slower. It's so nice and quiet here. So peaceful, absolutely stress-free. So naturally it's very easy to wind down in the evening. Although I still find it very hard to fall asleep. I don't know what's going on, but it's going on for years. And evenings are kind of like the most important part if you want to wake up early the next day. Now, I gotta put this disclaimer here. Just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that you should. Just because I'm a nomad doesn't mean that you have to be. Everyone has their own path. However, if you have a goal in mind, something you want to do or try out, then trust me, you will get there if you consistently put in the effort. What's funny is that I actually put together a new vision board now. Hopefully I will forget it, and in 5 years, on a random Tuesday morning, I will discover myself living in it. I will see you next week.